One thing about words is that they are very powerful, and we have the ability to create the best and the worst version of our lives through the words which we utter. And so it is very important that we are mindful of the words that we absorb and the words that we express, because we are able to create from the very words. And I often say words are like spells. Whatever it is that you speak over, especially over your own life and that of others, has a 99.9% chance of actually coming to fruition, because you are a co-creator together with the higher power. And the biggest tool in which you are able to co-create your life is through your thoughts, but most importantly, your tongue, because your tongue declares, right? And so, with that said, greetings, beautiful soul, and welcome to my channel, The Optimist Hub. My name is Yanga. In today's video, I want to share a couple of quotes that have really played a huge role and that I have also drawn life lessons from. And I just thought, let me share a couple. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe down below if you do find that the content in this channel is valuable. The Optimist Hub is all about personal development and personal growth, and a little bit of lifestyle vlogs here and there. Right, so let's start with our first quote. I have a couple of the quotes written down so that I don't forget, and I'll start with my first and favorite, which I've also done a video on my Instagram a couple of months ago. The quote says, "All things are working out for my good." Now, I derived this quote from a Bible verse. It is a scripture, if I'm not mistaken. It is Romans 8 verse 28, right? For me, this is an affirmation. It's an affirmation from the higher power. It's an affirmation from God to say, listen, all that you want, your dreams, your visions, your ideas will come to fruition, because all things are working out for your good. But obviously, the goodness that the higher power sees for me has to be in alignment with obviously the plans and the purpose that which has been bestowed upon me. But this is to say that everything is working out for you. This verse is saying, whatever it is that you are putting yourself out there for, or whatever it is that you want, is on its way, because everything I have set for you is orchestrated to be in your favor. So this is how I personally interpret that verse, and it happens to be one of my favorites, so I had to start with it. Then the second quote is, "The meaning of life is to give life meaning." I find that oftentimes we are so fixated on finding what my purpose is, and sometimes your purpose is really just to live, is to go with the flow, is to surrender to life itself. Life will happen when you are actually allowing it to happen. Things will unfold when you surrender, and when you let go, things will unfold for you, right? So for me, it simply speaks to, we are solely responsible for the experiences that we find ourselves in, especially those that are in our control, right? We are solely responsible for the experiences that are within our control, because I understand that some can be very circumstantial and are beyond our control, right? We literally have the ability to create a version of life that we see and want for ourselves. We just need to first define what that looks like and what that feels like for ourselves. So it is very important to be mindful of the fact that in order for life to be a beautiful experience, we need to be intentional with the experiences that we attract. Then the third quote that I'm going to mention is, "The day you plant the seeds is not the same day you get to reap or harvest the fruits." This quote is talking about patience, right? Also, it talks about intention. If you have the right intentions, you will have the ability to let go and surrender to the process of the seed, right? Becoming, right? Basically surrendering to the process of becoming. Patience is virtue. For example, the amount of time it takes to plant a mustard seed and the amount of time it takes to plant a fig tree or a fig seed or pumpkin seed, whatever, right? They're not going to grow at the same pace. They're not going to grow at the same rate. Just because last year you planted, and let's be metaphorical here, I'm being metaphorical, right? Let's say last year you planted I don't know, a pumpkin seed, and it took you 3 months to finally see the fruits of your labor, right? It's not going to be the same when you're planting a spinach seeds, for example. You may have planted them, I don't know, 7 months ago, and only now you're starting to see that, oh, actually, here's a spinach that's coming up. So there is a time and a season for everything, right? That's what the quote is. That's what I've derived from the quote as well, is different things take time to grow. They take time to evolve. They take time it takes time for us to actually reap the benefits, to harvest, to eat of the fruit. And so, yeah, that is what I've derived from the quote. And another quote I'd like to share is, and the purpose of knowledge is action, not knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? And oftentimes they say ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power, right? And so when you have been exposed to some sort of knowledge, it is your responsibility to act on what you have now been exposed to. We don't just get exposed to knowledge or experiences or lessons and just have it sit there, right? It is actually something that needs to be applied. We need to take action. For example, if you know the best way for you to have a successful business is to actually start the business, you won't have a successful business unless you start the business. And so again, knowledge is power. If you have been equipped with knowledge, apply the knowledge. Take the responsibility to use that knowledge. Share the knowledge as well. Very important. Knowledge sharing is very important because this is how we grow and evolve as a community. Again, everything that we learn, that we expose to, all the life experiences that we encounter, yes, are for our own personal lessons, but are also for the betterment of humanity. And this is how humanity gets to benefit, is through knowledge sharing. Right, and another quote says, as a man thinketh, so shall he be. I think I touched on this earlier on in one of the previous quotes that I spoke about. Again, this simply speaks to the power of your mind. You are literally what you think you are. You are who you think you are. And so it is very important, if perhaps you don't really think highly of yourself, then it is time for you to start fixing or working on how you perceive yourself. And that is a lot of work. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, right? Because it touches on a lot of things. Self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance, all of these things. It's a lot of work, but it's something that you need to start. If you don't really think of yourself in a good manner, then I think it's very important, because how you see yourself is how other people see you. Right? How you treat yourself is how other people treat you. Literally, what you think of yourself is how you are attracting that same energy of how people treat you. And so it's very important to then be very intentional when it comes to how we think of ourselves, right? If you believe that you have the ability, the capabilities to do whatever it is or achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, you have that. You have that. And nobody can come and say otherwise, because that's who you are. You've defined yourself for yourself, right? And I think this will be my last quote, which is, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Again, things tend to seem impossible because we haven't tried, because we think it's going to be difficult. But how do you know until you try, right? And so again, very important is start the journey. even though you don't know how you're going to get to the destination. And it's not always about the destination. I believe there's another quote that says it's not about the destination, it is about the journey. So you might not know how it's going to pan out, but still tread on that path, still embark on the journey, you know. Put that one foot in front of the other with faith. Because when you're embarking on a journey and on a path that you don't even know how it's going to unfold, this is where the letting go and the surrendering to the process comes in, right? When you embark on a journey where you don't even know how it's going to pan out or how things are going, you just need to trust the ability of putting one foot in front of the other, that's going to lead you. That's all you know. All you know in that moment is, if I put one foot in front of the other, I am taking little steps, right? One by one, I will get there. You will, in taking the little steps, be able to have the courage, the confidence, and the strength to carry you through, the tenacity, right? And so yeah, anyway, guys, those are the quotes that I just thought I should share. This will be part one, as I said, because there's more that I really live by, but yeah, I just couldn't fit in this video because I didn't want it to be too long. But yeah, with that said, beautiful soul, I certainly hope that this video was of value to you, and if it was, please do leave a like and do let me know in the comment section. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching my video, and subscribe please if you haven't. And yeah, if you like this content and if it's your cup of tea, you'd like to indulge furthermore, please do subscribe down below. Thank you so much, and may goodness and grace lead you to greater heights of success. Namaste.